So Drake dropped his lawsuit, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's doing this for the people. He's going to change the industry." No, I'm sorry to tell you, no. And this, listen, man, I wish it did, and maybe it still could. Maybe this is going to spark someone else who has definitely been suppressed, and they're going to do something. By the end of the day, bro, it's not just music. They do this with content creators. They do this with musicians. They do this with filmmakers. Like these, it's a part of the politics of the system. It sucks, but it is. Like for example, musically, even movies. Like there's the barrier for entry is non-existent in a way. Now, obviously, if you want to get theater runs, distribution, that's a whole different situation for filmmakers. But like in terms of like, oh, I made a feature film and I want to show it to the world, I could just put it on YouTube, right? Like I put my movie, my first feature length film on YouTube, it almost has 1,000 views. So like, and yes, on the internet, 1,000 views may not be a lot, but like I'm thinking as a feature film, which is an hour, so that means people are sitting down for a majority of that, and also 1,000 people in a movie. Like I think of it in terms of that for movies. Say all that to say that the barrier for entry is low to non-existent for a lot of these things. Like you can create movies on your phone, you can create music at your home if you want to. You can. There's so much you can do, right? So the barrier for quality control it still exists somewhere. It has to, for the sake of we can't pay every single human being who makes music. We can't make famous every single human being that makes music or that makes movies or that makes content. Like there, some people have more marketability than others, depending on what kind of content, the subject of their content matter, stuff like that. So some people are going to be pushed while others are going to be suppressed, or at least not even all the time suppressed. Sometimes it's just like, look, man, you're good at what you do, but you're not great at what you do. And we want people who are great. There's still some scraps for you, but you're not going to be at the head of the table, basically. And so Drake drops his lawsuit, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something as simple as hey man, like we've done it for you. We've done this for you. Like we have suppressed other artists to help you grow. Does Drake need it? No. But no one's going to say no to more help and more money. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of world we live in. And so I just hated that this situation that was clearly I'm a sore loser. And to his defense, if I'm Drake, I'm like, I do not want a stadium full of people. And before that, the Grammys. So I don't want the Grammys, and then like I don't want a stadium full of people to in unison call me a pedophile or say A minor. I don't want that for me, right? If I'm Drake, like I don't want that. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to make them, if nothing else, make Kendrick and them just think about doing that. Think about like, hey man, you have a whole new album out. You don't have to even. No one even wants that joint right now. They want TV off. Maybe even whacked out murals. They want something from a song from To Pimp a Butterfly. They want a song from Damn. They want a song from Section 80. Like you have an extensive catalog. You do not have to play Euphoria, Not Like Us, Meet the Grams. Like you don't have to do that. So maybe he's just trying to get them thinking. But so that's where I think the lawsuit really went. It's just more of like, hey, let's just ease. And maybe he got some assurances from Kendrick's camp or Spotify, whoever, Apple Music, maybe whoever, of like, hey, we understand. We told Kendrick either to bleep some stuff out or hey, you have a whole new album and you have the amazing songs with SZA. Like you have like 3 songs with SZA, including 30 for 30 on SZA's joint. that you could play that's going to do numbers and no one's going to care about, not like us. So like you can just do it. Like you won, bro. Just maybe you got some assurances. Or maybe, and my theory is UMG kind of just rolled the data and was like, look, if anything else, we did this for you and no one else. Or not even no one else, but we did this for you more than other people. Or at least there's proof that we've done it for you. So your argument's dumb. Your argument's dumb. And here's the numbers before we intervene. And here's numbers when we intervene. And that's money. And money talks. So we're going to see. Like, honestly, we're going to see. And it's one of those things where I don't know, like I said, it's not just music. There's a barrier for entry somewhere. And I'm not supporting it. I do think we missed the shows and the times of like 106 & Park and VH1 and MTV, like prime, like just the prime of those channels. And what they did for music is so much better than what some streamers and content creators and stuff have done for it, because I just don't like the direction where media is going with a lot of, we're talking primarily about music, so I'll keep it there, but like it's not just music, it's a lot of these shows that are just gotten really bad about talking about things they supposedly love. Like it's not even just about reporting or talking about, it's also like there's no exposure to new people. Like I really wish, taking it from music for a second again, I wish there was some of these movie channels that cover a movie or whatever, or even TV shows that cover movies. I wish they would spotlight independent or indie creators of movies or web series, stuff like that. Because there's really cool web series out there that could easily be made into really great TV, or network television, or like streaming television. And then there's like a lot of great short films that I wish there was a channel. I wish there was a channel, like a TV channel or like a streamer that would like just hosted like short films. Like Netflix, for example, I think it would be a lot more cost efficient and really cool to have a category for just award winning short films. I know there's a metric ton of short films, so again that bar of entry has to be somewhere. But at least if those people are getting, like, imagine going from YouTube or behind a Vimeo paywall to like Netflix, for what I'm saying, like that is something that we can slowly integrate. So like that'd just be a massive amount of money and exposure for those filmmakers. So like there is so like we went from the drama and like we took the wrong things from like the golden days of like coverage. We went from like covering stuff to like just about coverage and drama and stuff, like exposure to like indie artists and like what they can do. And I feel like that's the lesson I want to take from this whole Drake and Kendrick situation, is that like it really is cool to expose other artists' music that people can't discover because of the sea of music. There's just too much. There's too much. So you need platforms to help shepherd some of these things along. You really do. And it could be like just a show where it's like, hey, we're playing like the top 10 music we're listening to at the gym. Or like, because everything's about playlists and studying now. Like, oh, here's the top 10 music we listen to when we're studying or when we're at work or working from home. Like, there's so many cool little, like, there's so many different things you could do, right, with music. And I hate and despise that TikTok is playing such a huge role in music, because I feel like it's what's leading to some of the most degeneracy about music. Like, I think when you have a platform like a show or something where you can bring other artists on to promote live, or you can bring artists on to talk about their new mixtape, or talk about their first album rollout, or you talk about these different things. Like, I don't like American Idol, The Voice, like shows like that are also a big part of the problem. And I don't think there's shows for the culture in which artists can come on and not just the culture, but specifically, especially for us, like there's no platform anymore where we can shepherd some artists along and have like, give them a route for being independent. we don't reward being independent anymore, because without a label is extremely hard. There's a reason why labels have as much money and power as they do. There's no good avenue for independent artists, and The Voice and all those platforms, like those TV shows, are not meant to shepherd new talent along. It's meant to push a specific narrative and specific people to the top. So we need shows to come back, or especially with streaming. Like, there's too many ways to create legitimate shows in which we can shepherd along so many things. Like, example, one of the reasons why I personally despise IGN, which for video games, is that they don't do what like G4, like some of these other older, like, again, primetime television did, is that they don't shepherd along indie. Like, in my opinion, the reviews are pretty harsh to the point where sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if some of these people even like play the game fully through or whatever. And then I don't think they do a good job. Me personally, this is me personally, I don't think they do a good job of shepherding along indie titles for games. Like, that's another thing. I think we're losing a lot of these showcases. We don't have enough showcase for a lot of these newer people and these independent stuff. And that gives power to some of the bullshit we see with labels, with game developers, or gaming studios, movie studios and movie executives. Like, there's too much power because we don't allow an avenue for people to get discovered otherwise. You know, so I really feel like we need a comeback of programming in which we can display new talent. And you know, to sell tickets, to sell stuff, like, yeah, you're going to need popular hits. You're going to need, you know, some people like Sabrina Carpenter and some people to come on the show and do that. I understand that. And you can interview them too. But I'm saying, like, the focus should really just be exposing music in general, or exposing works of art in general. Like, just have a situation where you have shows or streams where it's just solely about the love, about bars. And you can have this, and debate culture. I'm running out of the time limit I had for this, so I'll say this last point. Debate culture at ESPN, from the Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith early First Take days, have flooded all coverage. That's something I forgot to say. I should have really spent the majority of this video saying. I could probably make a new video about this, and I probably will. That debate culture has flooded into every section of coverage. Every section. And it's not their fault. That debate style, I use quotations there, is very, very popular. So it's flooded every single aspect of coverage, not just sports, but music, movies. It flooded everything and really destroyed some of those programs that should have been promoting music. Has now become, this person's trash. I know this person's industry. Let's do gossip. It's like a gossip show. It's like the report they do on, like, the Breakfast Club, except everyone's copying that mold as well. So, like, it just came from breaking down music in a way of like, oh, this is really cool, or here's the latest thing, and live reactions maybe, and then like having them come in and play with a live band. And like, this is the days where we need an MTV, we need a G4, we need certain institutions in place that can really shepherd along the quality of music and like show that there is a route for being independent. As hard as Ori is, as hard as it still will be, it would be nice if there was a way for that. And I think debate culture and just what we're doing, I think it really ruined any kind of aspect of really enjoying me. Like, I feel like people don't enjoy anything. They just like the drama aspect. They like seeing famous people, like people have a hard on for seeing famous people fall off, whether it's allegations or the music's not good or what. Like, they just want fall off instead of like enjoyment. They don't, like, people do not enjoy shit anymore. People are fucking miserable and they just want chaos, and they don't want to enjoy shit because they can't enjoy anything, so they don't want anyone else to enjoy anything. And that's how I feel about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about the state of music. What do you think about this lawsuit being dropped? What do you think about Drake in general? Honestly, Drake lost my respect for many reasons. Nothing to do with the contents of any of Kendrick's songs. I personally think he lost the battle because I think while Drake was making Bobby diss tracks, Kendrick was attacking Drake like, hey, I'm talking to you and your entire lineage. I'm not talking about, no. I'm talking about you, your label, your lineage, your legacy. I'm talking about your legacy, bruh. That's what Kendrick was on. Drake was talking about domestic violence allegations. So, yeah.